Guys, next day at the shop, we got the all-wheel drive Integra on the lift. I want to show you guys a couple things I found. I wanted to show you guys a couple things that I found. So I'm using the FCS all-wheel drive kit, and this is the rear mount that goes in the back. It is very, very, very bent. I don't know if you could tell, but it is super, super bent. All right, guys, as I was saying, I'm running the FCS kit on my car, and this is their rear mount for the top of the differential. And I noticed that my car was starting to have some vibration, so I got underneath the car and I started looking at this thing, and it is super, super bent. I don't know if you can tell from the video here, but it is really bent. It's probably a couple inches up from where it's supposed to be, so it was making my drive shaft angle really, really messed up. And then these flanges that are on the outside are also pretty bent, as you can tell right there, because they're just bolted to the car. So same thing with this side, pretty bent. So if you guys are running this FCS kit and you're making quite a bit of power or launching the car super hard, like I said, my car was 156 60 footing, and it bent this bar almost immediately. Pretty much the first pass I made, it was already bent. So I thought it was an issue with my drive shaft or something going on there, but after a couple days I looked at this and I realized that it was super bent, and it was making the diff point really high, and that's what was causing the vibration. So also another thing is their diff mount. It's made out of pretty thin aluminum and it's not very strong, so I can pull on this just with a little bit of force, and it bends and it moves quite a bit. Let me see. Obviously right now it doesn't have the top mount, but this piece itself should be, you know, pretty strong, but it's not very strong. So I can pull down on this and I can get it to move, say maybe half an inch, 3/4 of an inch up and down. And another issue that I had with this is that these small little bolts on the back right here are the only thing that hold the differential in its place, and I've tightened these multiple times with Loctite and everything, and they just keep coming loose. So fortunately I'm going to be getting rid of this kit and going to the HCP kit, because that's the kit that we have on our other all-wheel drive car, and it's working out really good for us. So I'm gonna get this thing out of here and then go pick up a new motor for this thing, and hopefully get it in there, and then get the HCP kit on here and hopefully make this a lot more solid. So just some information for you guys so you know what's going on with the all-wheel drive stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna get this thing out of here and talk to you guys a little later. Morning guys, welcome back to Boost by Gear. Today we're gonna be installing the Hub City Performance diff mount kit on my all-wheel drive Integra. As I mentioned in the video before, I had the FCS mount kit and had a bunch of problems with it, so we were gonna upgrade to the Hub City kit. So this is their kit right here. This is the diff mount itself. So it mounts on all these points right here through the lower control arm. These two bolts here, same thing on the other side, and then these two bolts mount the differential itself, and these go through the bottom of the car through some factory holes that are already there. And then they use these big bolts and I say bushings or spacers, so it doesn't crush the subframe when you tighten it. And they also send you OEM Honda lower control arm bolts too, which is super nice. The two plates to weld onto the sides of the frame for the bar that goes across the top, and this is the bar that goes across the top. Super strong square tubing, nice and thick. And this is the plate that bolts to the top of the differential that you have to weld to this bar, just like this. And it's also really nice, really thick, slotted holes for a little bit of adjustment. And then it also has these bent up triangle pieces to make it even more rigid. So I'm gonna get this thing up on the lift. I already got all the old stuff out, so I'm gonna get it up on the lift, get this all mocked up, and show you how basically how to install this. And hopefully we don't have any more issues with bending these bars. So let's get to it. All right guys, so here I am under the car. So basically, since this was already cut out, you know, I can't show you how to cut it out since it's already been cut out. But basically I cut in between these two holes, so this hole here and this hole here. Cut both sections out, basically cut out this hole subframe piece right here. And then I cut up into the car, basically the same width, and then up and over, and get this whole section out. Some people like to just hit this with a hammer and get it up, and you can make it fit that way too. I just rather cut it. So basically you cut that part out, and then the diff mount basically just bolts to the subframe here. So I'll show you here in a second what it looks like when it's all bolted up. But yeah, so I'll show you how to get that all bolted up. And it doesn't really look like my subframe here is very straight anymore, but anyway. So as far as the FCS kit goes, it used to bolt in these three bolt holes right here, and on the other side, same spot. And the tube went across, and it just wasn't very strong. It ended up bending the first time I launched the car pretty hard. It bent the bar, and then it just kept bending over and over, and it just kept getting worse and worse after that. So I started having driveline vibration issues, so I got underneath the car, saw that was bent, and I took it out. In taking out that top bar, I kind of was curious to see how strong the back piece of the FCS mount was. So I grabbed the front of the diff and kind of pushed it up and down just with my hand, and it was just flexing really hard, right along the point where it mounted. So the actual diff mount itself, like bolts to the car in the back, isn't very strong either in itself. So the Hub City kit is a lot stronger. It's thicker here, and it just has a lot more bracing on it itself. So basically this will go bolted up just like this. Oh, actually I lied, that's upside down. This will go bolted up just like this. So it bolts to this factory hole here, this factory hole here, the factory hole here, and basically these three holes, 1, 2, and 3, goes bolted to those. Same thing on the other side, and just goes bolted up just like that. So I'm gonna get that bolted up, and then just get the diff mounted, and then I'll show you how to do the top piece here in a sec. But first I'm gonna have to probably disconnect my fuel lines and get them all out of the way, since I'm gonna be welding right here. You don't want to cause a fire, so we'll do that real quick, and then we'll get this all mounted up. And as you can see, I already have the Hub City Performance lower control arms, and I move everything back to give you clearance for the axles, which is super nice. So this is just the matching part for it. I just got my fuel lines moved, got this thing bolted up. So I went through and pulled all of these bolts out and put red Loctite on every single one of them and torqued them all back down, including these little guys right here. And then what I did next was I just once this is all bolted up, these line up with those holes like I said on the bottom. I went straight through here into the body right here. So there's a hole right there, same on the other side, and try to get a right angle drill through there to make that hole on the top a little bigger. And then these spacers will slide in between the subframe here and the floor right there, so when you tighten the bolt, it doesn't smash it all together, so it keeps it nice and tight. Another thing I like about the HCP mount, these extra mounting points really help everything. So yeah, I'm gonna get these holes drilled out, get these bolts in there, and show you what that looks like here next, and then I'll get the diff all mounted up where it's supposed to go, and then I'll start on the top piece. Alright guys, so I'll show you how I got this side in. Basically, you get this sleeve to slide in between here. Sometimes it takes a little bit of persuasion to get it in its spot. about right there. Put the bolts in. Get it to line up on the bottom there, just like that. Get it to drop down in there, and then get the washer and the nut on it. Something like that. Alright, so 24 on the bottom and a 21 on the top. Get that nice and tight. Do the other side. Alright, now that I got those two tight, it's time to get the diff mounted up in there and see how she fits. So this just makes another nice mounting point and doesn't let this back piece flex at all. As you saw earlier in the video, the other mount was really flexible because it didn't have any type of support in the center at all. So let's get this diff mounted up. Alright guys, well, I got the drive shaft all bolted back up, but I did run into a slight issue. This mount sits about a 1/4 inch farther back, so now my rear drive shaft is about a 1/4 inch too long. So I can either move all 8 of these bolt holes back a little bit, since I have a little play on the slip joint right here, or I could just get another drive shaft made. I can just have them lengthen it. So I think it's going to be a lot better to just leave all this stuff how it is right now in the front, because it's already all set up and it all works pretty good. It's got a good amount of slip both ways already, and these are all mounted up really nice. So I'm just going to get another drive shaft made, but I got this all fixed up. Shout out to Brandon Smith at WeFShitUp on Instagram for sending me a couple more parts for one of his billet carrier mounts. I kind of got messed up when my motor mount broke, so he sent me a new cap like this for the bearing, and all new bolts and a shim to get the slop out of it. So thanks for sending that over, man. I really appreciate that. And so yeah, I'm gonna be getting a new drive shaft made, like I said, and then I'll get this all back in. I am actually gonna go grab an angle finder right now though, so I can see what angle that's at and this is at, and then match it up to this, so I can hopefully get this all welded up tonight. But for right now, I'm gonna start actually gutting the car, because the car is very heavy. It weighs 2920 with a full tank and me in it, so that's really heavy. For the class that we race in here, the car can be 2,600 pounds when it's an all-wheel drive car, so I'm gonna pull everything that I can out of it. I might even cut the rear bumper or do something like that, get rid of the rear bumper support. All of the interior is going, except the dash and the driver's seat. But yeah, so I'm gonna start doing that, and we'll see what we got to do to finish up this rear end install. All right, Alex, you ready to gut this thing?
Gut it. Gut it like a fish.
We're gonna gut this thing. So this thing weighed 2920 with the full tank and me in it. So since it's in the all-wheel drive class, it has to weigh 2,600 pounds. So we could pull out probably about 300 pounds or so. We're gonna be pulling these rear panels, the passenger seat, carpet, sound deadening stuff, this rear panel that I already took out, the stuff on the hatch, bumper bar that's under here. That's probably like, I'll probably get, I don't know, 10 pounds or something.
The bumper bar?
Yeah, the bumper bar, yep. And pretty much everything that we can get out of it to try to get at least maybe a couple 100 pounds, but we'll see what it all weighs. We have scales here? I think they are.
Oh, they went to Taylor's because Mayor took them out.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get the scales back, and then we'll put the car back on the scales and see what it actually weighs. And I actually want to tighten up my rear preload, because the car dips really hard when we launch. So we also fixed a bunch of stuff on the drive line. This is now about a 1/2 inch too short, so we're gonna get this remade, and fixed the drive shaft angles because they were pretty yeah, we fixed a bunch of the drive line stuff. I'll show you what's up with that here in a bit. Well, yeah, we're gonna get to gutting this thing, see how light we can. Alright, so we got most of the stuff out of the interior that we can pull out for our class. We'll have to put the passenger seat back in. With all the rear panels, headliner, sunroof, all the stuff in the back. Took the taillights out to get the bumper out. And we're going to cut the bumper in the back so it doesn't catch a bunch of air back here. I think that's gonna look the best now. Probably gonna cut it along here. Same, come up here, follow this line all the way across. We're gonna leave the center part for the plate. But I think that's how we're gonna cut it. I wanted to cut it just straight over, but I think it's gonna look kind of weird on the side here. But we're gonna try that real quick and then see what it looks like and get it back on the car. And if we don't like it, well, we'll keep cutting some more. Alright guys, well, we got the bumper all cut up. That's what it looks like right now. And unfortunately in the process, we got locked out of the shop. So we're waiting for somebody to come bring us the key right now. So once we get that key, I'll show you what it looks like on the car. And we're still using all these mounting points. So the factory mounting points here and all the ones that are along here. And that one. Cut off pretty much the whole bottom. But it looks pretty good right here. So we're gonna get it on the car, see what it looks like. But our intention was to keep the air from getting caught behind the bumper because it kind of curves down at the bottom without doing the big holes in the bumper. So, and to lose some weight in the process. So we'll get that back on there real quick and show you what it looks like, and then see what else we can get out of the car to get some weight out of it. Alright guys, next day back at the shop. Got the drive shaft back from the drive shaft shop. I actually dropped it off this morning and they got it done for me this afternoon. So shout out to them for getting that done super quick. So this is the bar that HCP sends you. When they send it to you, it's just square on the ends. But when you get it up in the car, it's actually at an angle. So I got the bar up in the car. Got it sitting on top of the mount. So I got it sitting on top of the bar like that, and then I just came in here and I marked with the marker kind of the angle that had to be cut at. So you have to leave about 1/8 of an inch on each side for the plates to slide in right here that you're gonna weld. So I went through and cleaned all the paint off on both sides of the bar. So like I said, you got to leave about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm gonna get this tucked all the way back in there, and then these are the plates they send you to weld to the frame. So these will slide in right there, just like that. And then you got to leave enough room on the other side. So that one fits right there. This one does not fit, so I'm gonna have to cut a little bit more off the bar on this side. So I'm gonna get that cut off real quick, and then what I'm gonna do is kind of get these positioned, get them tacked in there where I want them, and then I'm gonna get this all tacked up to this mount that's bolted to the diff, and then unbolt this, get it all out, fully weld this plate to this bar, and then I can also fully weld all the way around these. And then once I get it all in the car, then I can fully weld around the plate to the car. Alright, so now I have the bar tacked to these plates and the bar tacked to the plate that's bolted to the diff on both sides. Now I'm gonna pull this all out, unbolt the two 19s that are on the top of the diff, pull this out, fully weld all the way around here, all the way around this stuff on both sides. Then we'll get it back in there, get it bolted down, and then fully weld on the car. And that'll be it. That'll be completely 100% installed. Let me get that done and I'll show you guys what that looks like afterwards. And we'll be good to go with the new HCP all-wheel drive kit.
She gonna say she was
Well, that's pretty much it then. It's a car. I was thinking about welding some tabs from here to the car, but I don't know. What do you think, Alex?
Well, I tell you what, I done welded this thing right here, and then I done welded that over there, but I done welded it upside down.
Actually, Alex didn't weld anything, actually, but he don't know how to weld. He welds stairs. He welds stairs for a living. No. Well, that's pretty much it. I guess I'm probably gonna throw some paint on it just to keep it from rusting. But I should probably. You think I should fill these holes? I don't know. I'm just gonna leave them like that.
That'd be easy.
Alex, we rolling.
Yeah. No, I'm just gonna hit it with some paint on the bottom and on these sides just so it doesn't rust. But that's pretty much it. That's gonna conclude the HCP mount install. And hopefully this is much stronger than the stuff that was on here before. I'm gonna do some testing, and I'll be back with another video to show you guys that hopefully this bar isn't broken or bent. So next time I go to the track, I'm gonna put it on some slicks and hopefully cut some 1/460s. So see you guys next time.